Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a no bullshit guide on how to get good grades in high school. Let's get on into it. Now I have to be clear with you guys. Doing good in high school is very subjective and it can mean something different to each individual that watches this video. Some people prioritize sports or their social life. Some people like music or dance or working in plays. But this video is meant for those of you who want to prioritize getting good grades in high school. I was able to get a 4.0 unweighted GPA in high school, and I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I learned along the way. Getting straight on into it, the first thing that you guys have got to be doing is you have got to be doing all of your homework on time and do it well. These are free points. Don't pass on this opportunity. I knew way too many people in high school that were way smarter than I was, could pass any test without even trying, but they got bad grades because they just didn't do their homework. So don't let that be you. It's the easiest points you're ever gonna get.
Come on, man. That's too easy.
Now, I understand there are some extreme circumstances that are going to prevent you from doing your homework, like some extreme illness or maybe a death in the family where you have got to miss school and you can't get your homework done on time. In these extreme circumstances, please just reach out to your teachers. I guarantee that they will be willing to help you through these circumstances. And if they're not willing to help you, then that's an issue with the school and take it up with them. If you don't have a valid reason, like you're just too tired or you'd rather do something else, then, that's totally fine, but then you can't complain about getting bad grades. You have got to be doing your homework. It's not that hard. Just get it done with, submit it on time, and you'll see an immediate increase in your overall grades. Now, the next thing that you guys have got to be doing is you have to be scoring well on these tests and quizzes that the teachers hand out. Tests and quizzes oftentimes in most classes take up the majority of the overall grade. So doing well on these is going to just boost your grade up higher and higher. And doing poorly on these can really, really hurt you. Now, I was able to do very well on my tests and quizzes, and it wasn't necessarily because I was the smartest in the class or I studied the longest or knew the most material, but I knew a couple of key test taking abilities that many others didn't, which I was able to use on all of these tests, which automatically bumped my grade up. And I'm going to share those with you guys right now. So the first test taking strategy you've got to master is going to be to use elimination on your multiple choice questions. And this is what I mean right here. So taking a look at the question on screen, the length in inches of a box is 3 inches less than twice its width in inches. Which of the following gives the length L inches in terms of the width W inches of the box? The first thing that's going through my mind when looking at this problem is how do we break this up into smaller chunks that we can easily handle? The first thing I'm looking at is what is the question actually asking us to answer? And it's asking us to get the length L in inches and write an equation for that based on the above parameters. So let's take a look at some of the possible answers. We can see that A as well as D here both don't even have L within the equation, and it's doing N equals and M equals respectively. So we can just toss those out entirely, and now we're just left with the 3 remaining options. Now let's go back up to the question. We can see that the length of a box is 3 inches less, and that keyword less more oftentimes than not is going to be a minus sign. So we're going to look at the possible answers and we're going to see which one has a minus sign. And we can see that C and E both have minus signs, but B does not. So just taking it from first glance, I'm going to toss B out right away as well. So now we're just left with a 50-50 shot. And if we were completely clueless on this question before we actually started doing this elimination and we just guessed, we'd have a 1 in 5 shot of getting it right. But using some basic elimination by just reading the question and taking some clues like less than and what is the question actually asking us to solve for, we got down to a 1 in 2 chance or a 50-50 shot of getting this question right if we just guess. And that's going to immediately boost your grade because now 50% of your questions are going to be right instead of 20% of your questions. And then just finishing up the question, we can see that the box is 3 inches less than twice its width. So we're looking for 2 times W minus 3 equals L, and that's going to be answer E.
Nice.
Now, I know that this question in particular was pretty elementary, but you're gonna be absolutely shocked at how you can use this strategy super effectively on even some of these AP and college level classes, because their tests, the same principles still apply to these harder questions. It just might take you a little bit longer and you might need to use a little bit more elimination in your particular test. So take advantage of these skills. Now we're gonna move on to some of the short answer or essay questions. And a little pro tip before we hop in this, if you have a test that has both multiple choice and short answer questions on it, I know that maybe some people have different test taking strategies. My opinion, always do the multiple choice first. The multiple choice will oftentimes give you clues for the short answer questions, and I'm gonna give you an example of that right now. So let's say, for example, we're in history class and we're given a test on World War II, and we're given this short answer question. What was General George S. Patton Jr. well known for during World War II? And now we can't quite remember who General George S. Patton Jr. is, but on the same test, it also has a multiple choice section. And following my principles, I would be doing the multiple choice section first. And I got this question here. What was the name of the World War II battle, which was led by General George S. Patton Jr.? And now we can look through some of the possible answers, say we don't quite know, but now we can kind of pick up some things by looking at the names of the battles. And we're like, oh wow, I think he's from the Battle of the Bulge. And so now with semi-confidence that Mr. George S. Patton Jr. was leading the Battle of the Bulge, we can now come back to that short answer question and we can write that down there. Now, another pro tip is that you have got to be writing something down on your short answer questions. It is 100% better than leaving it blank. You have to be taking advantage of these partial credit opportunities that almost all professors are going to give for these essay style questions. If you write something down, it's better than nothing, and you can get some partial points even on questions that you know nothing about. And here's an example right here. So coming on back to the example question we've got on screen, and say for the multiple choice section, we still can't quite figure out who General George S. Patton Jr. was, but we know he was a general and he led one of those 4 battles. So if we come down to the short answer question, instead of just leaving this question blank because we don't know the exact answer, we can rephrase the question and be like, General George S. Patton Jr. was very well known for leading a great battle in World War II. And then we could pull different knowledge that we have from the class, maybe on different generals or what generals did in the war, and we can say that maybe he led this great battle. We can even say that he led the Battle of Stalingrad, even though it might be incorrect. But as long as we write something down here, we might be able to get 1 or 2 points instead of leaving it blank and getting 0 points. So another crucial thing is that when you're going through tests, make sure you do the questions that you are confident on right away and completely skip over the ones that you look at, you read it, you're not quite sure. Just skip over it. Go to the ones you're 100% confident on, answer those, and then when you're finished with the test, you can come back and do the ones that you weren't so certain on, and maybe you'll pick up some context clues that will jog your memory, and then maybe you'll remember some of the questions that you weren't sure on before. Another key thing that really helped me out, and I know will help a bunch of you guys out, is that you need to just step back, take a deep breath, and relax. I can't remember a single test that I took while in high school. And I'm sure many of you guys will be able to relate with that as soon as you're out of high school, but it's not the end of the world after you take the test. Now, I do agree, stressing about a test before it happens might actually help you because it'll make you study a little bit more. Maybe you can learn an extra thing or two the night before because you're stressed studying about it. But take a deep breath. Once you take that test, you sit down, you grind it out, you do the best that you can. After the test is over, just relax.
Calm down. I'm calm!
Now, I've got to be 100% honest with you guys. High school is not all about getting good grades. High school should be the time where you build and learn life skills that you can use later on in your life. However, I would be lying if I said that grades don't matter, and if you fail a class, who cares? If you fail all your classes, who cares? Like, high school doesn't matter. You'll just be all erased once you're done. If you're serious about moving on with your life and being successful, maybe going to college, grades they do matter. They will help you out later on in life. So don't throw away this time either. You have to find a good balance between having fun, having a social life, doing good, and worrying about your grades, getting good grades, studying a lot. Both of them have their time and place. I think actually, quote unquote, doing good in high school is about mastering the art of doing both well at the same time. And here's how I recommend you go about doing that. Now, I'm sure all of you guys have heard that time is your most valuable resource and don't waste your time. And although that's true, in reality, I think actually your energy is your scarcest resource and your most valuable resource that you have to learn how to manage. Most people have the time of day to do anything they want. They can accomplish their wildest dreams and they have the time for it. But why don't most people do what they want to do? Because they don't have the energy and they don't have the motivation to actually do that. So from my personal experience, what I'm going to recommend to you guys, you have to get good at managing your energy. And when it comes to getting good grades in high school, here's what I recommend. Let's say, for example, that you've got 2 tests coming up at the end of the week, one in history and one in science. And you have a certain amount of time that you have in this week to study for both of those tests. Now, the most important thing is in that time that you're studying, you have to make sure that you actually have enough energy to effectively study. So make some adjustments, maybe set aside some more time where you can ramp up to actually fulfill the amount of energy it's going to take to study for these tests 100%. Now, how to break up that 100% of your time. In this case, say that you know the science material pretty well. You don't know everything, but you know most of it pretty well. And history, most of the times, is based on purely memorizing useless facts. I know, not my favorite class, but you're gonna have to memorize these facts to do well on this test, and you don't know all of them. Maybe you're slacking this unit and you don't know all of these useless facts that you're gonna have to know. I would set aside 90+% of my energy to focus solely on the history exam, and then the remaining 10% on the science test to brush up on a few things that you're not 100% sure on. And then you can take both of that into both of the exams. You have to get really good at doing this and delegating your time and energy to doing the tasks that are most important and that are going to give you the greatest output. And if you learn these skills now in high school, it's going to set you up so far ahead of everybody else in life. These are skills you use every single day. And as the situations become more complex and harder than just simple high school tests and delegating your study time, these skills that you're going to learn now are going to be just instrumental in your success. Another crucial step to take while you're in high school is to figure out what learning style is best for you. In my case, I need concrete examples of a given problem which I can draw from. So say, for example, I'm learning a new math equation. Instead of actually getting like the equation with all the letters and random symbols in it, so like E equals MC squared, I don't know what that means. I need an actual word problem with the numbers that I'm going to plug into the equation so then I can make that connection in my mind. And after doing all of these classes, all these hard classes, and learning from that, that's the way I learn best. And then I use that to make my studying time be cut in a quarter, even more than that, because I learn very fast from this particular situation and I learn slowly from other situations. So I completely cut out the variable equation and I just do the concrete numbers, and that saves me so much time and energy. So dedicate a lot of your time to learning your learning style, and then you can use that learning style for the rest of your life. Now, I know I threw a lot of information at you guys this video, but if there's one key takeaway I want you guys to learn from this video, it's to use your time in high school to learn lifelong skills rather than all of the useful garbage that they throw at you. Figuring out what your learning style is, as well as managing your time and energy effectively, will directly translate to getting better grades in high school and will directly translate into success in future in whatever you want to go into. Just trust me on that. Now go crush it out there, y'all. I know you guys will do well. If you guys haven't already, please do the stuff that's on the screen right down here below me. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.